What is this? Is this radio? Why are we outside?
Yes, it's internet TV, sir. Sorry.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's how it is. Here we go. Hype. Once upon a groove on an old soul tune. I watch the pen move to shape the brain roots. Who makes moves, maneuver in the right direction? The rest of you get left behind and messed up in this session. I'm not trying to make
Welcome to Drugcast.
Hey!
We're live. I'm Travis.
Hi, I'm Dylan.
And we're a podcast that takes place at bars and restaurants all over the world someday. We have some drinks and we talk about the things that happen over the week and sometimes get a chance to talk to interesting people. And we will get to an interesting person pretty soon. The person that we have is going to be pretty busy this night, so we're going to get the first segment out of the way. A couple of things between us and, of course, one of our favorite people, Chris Lloyd.
Yay!
Back on the show.
I'll cheer me.
Yeah, you should cheer you. You're great.
Oh, yeah.
I think so too. I think you're spot on, sir.
We are
Pinky's out.
Oh, wow.
Pinky's out. Cheers!
Yeah,
cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Yeah, keep it classy up in here.
We're Don Zipo in Austin, Texas. We're recording our podcast on a Saturday. It is a date, and it is episode 156. Yeah, my Adventure Time watch does not tell me the date.
Yeah, your watch is tripping me out.
Yeah.
It's very distracting.
Take that. We're very lucky to be. We're going to have Mike MacRae on the show. It's all Chris. Chris saw him. Explain how you did that.
Yeah, it was just a couple weeks ago. A show at King Bee that our friend Sarah she let me in on.
Sarah
I
June?
went there. Sarah June. Yep. Went there. It's a little thing that Chris Cubas does on Wednesdays. I think it's a regular thing.
Oh, it's a Cubas thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And he went and did his thing. And I really liked him, and I introduced myself, and now here we are.
Gave him a
Or
card.
here we will be. Yeah,
we will be,
I
yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
gave him
yeah.
a card. Yeah,
Nice.
You can't keep those things to yourself.
No.
It defeats the purpose.
I'm glad he's able to come out, and we will see him pretty soon. But
He's in the green room.
But what's been going on, guys?
Obviously Scott Weiland died.
Yeah.
Oh,
sucked.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that.
In his sleep,
Moving on.
too, right? Officially?
Officially in his sleep on the tour bus. Yeah.
Outside of the hotel where he had a very nice room.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, his heroin was in the tour bus.
Right. Yeah.
I'm assuming.
I mean, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
We all,
You know,
Put your weed in there.
Nobody questions that he had some issues.
Right.
ongoing for some time. But he was like, what? He was 48?
48. Oh, it really sucks. A buddy of mine who has a band up in Dallas was going to open for him next week.
Oh, no. Wow. Oh, man. That would have been really... Oh, man.
Scott Weiland is his like number one favorite frontman. So he was like going to live a dream. I'm opening for the guy I love. No. And he just, yeah.
I wonder, like, it was like a couple hours before a show. Like...
I'm not sure.
That could have been awkward, right?
Yeah.
Like someone had to go make that announcement or something.
Sorry,
like,
show's canceled, guys.
Yeah, postponed indefinitely.
like
man.
it's not like you can send out an email at like the hour mark or something like that. Like
Right.
you got to deal with that. I don't know.
It's an immediate thing, like refunds. I think that's fair.
Rain or shine, but you didn't say anything about death or dismemberment.
Gas Monkey, the show, Gas Monkey Garage on the TV.
Okay.
They're really big in Dallas. They actually have a place called Gas Monkey Bar and Grill. That's where actually they're going to play.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big venue, and they actually did issue refunds to everybody. So
Okay.
yeah, but it's like,
nice.
yeah, we can't in our right mind not give you your money back.
Love.
Well, they shouldn't have had to pay anyone, so I think break even.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's scramble to
some
find
sort
something
of
that's
insurance.
something that could take over for STP, but
I
still one of the best shows I've ever
Velvet
seen.
Revolver.
STP.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Like that's when that was always on one of my list of bands I wish I had seen when I had the chance. I never had to see them, and you actually did. You said it was one of the best shows you've ever been to. So.
Pretty close to their prime, honestly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the crowd was really dense, and I was very close to the stage, Chris. And so,
Yes.
like, I got pushed up at one point, and it felt like an eternity that I was floating in the air. It was probably only for a couple seconds.
Right.
But it was like from me to you, Scott Weiland, like up here. So I was pushed into him, like
Simba.
or like when God made Adam, like this like finger thing, and I'm like,
Those are like the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Right.
It's all the same parable.
It's all Obama.
Yeah. It's all based on coming to America.
Yeah.
I got lost there, and I've gone pretty deep sometimes.
Awesome.
Good
Yeah,
job.
Let's get deeper.
Yeah. Whoa.
In our audience, we have Donnie Dotson.
Donnie.
He's one of our bra shows. Are you going to change the name, Donnie?
Talking about it.
You talk about changing them, okay. But he's doing a podcast called The Awesome Couchcast. It might be changed to something else, but really excited to see what's happening with him. And with one of the friends of the show, Josh Woodyard, who's a very funny dude. End of list of people who are on that show. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know the other person doesn't listen to the show, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. He specifically was like, I want to be on the show. And he's like, well, have you listened to it? And he's like, no. And he's like, well, that's the one prerequisite. You know? Unless you're a random person we haven't met, like Chris, for example. Like, you're invited to
Yeah, I sort of slid in.
Sure.
And then someone else bailed and... Hey, look, I can talk.
Hey, I have mouth words.
Yeah,
Check it out, guys.
I did. I still do.
Yeah.
It's really my defining trait, I would say. My mouth words
Nice.
and my sharp hairline.
It's looking sharp today.
Yeah. I'm trying something new. A little wind blown.
Nice.
Tucked off the porch.
Well, let's go ahead and finish the segment soon.
Yeah.
And we can have more time with Mike when he shows up. And
Okay.
all them questions and stuff.
Sure.
So we'll be back
Yay.
with more Drunkcast.
Yay.
Break. Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break.
Well, I don't want to offend Chris. Or maybe I have to at some point.
Deep groove and the night's new. What a feeling, what a nice mood. A bam, boom, rock. We're here to rock you. It's like, damn, what a vibe. Woo. I got my old soul shoes.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Hey.
Segment 2, Drunkcast Live. It's the Double Deuce, right?
Yeah. Still.
Still hanging out with Dylan. Still hanging out with Chris. And we're lucky to have MacRae
Hello.
to come join us on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's an absolute pleasure. Now, I want to get the questions out of the way because I want to talk to you
Okay.
about just basically anything and everything. We always have 3 questions the first time you've been on the show. First, what are you drinking?
This is a Jack and Diet.
Jack and Diet. Why diet?
I just like Diet Coke better. Coke is just too sweet for me.
Okay, sure.
And I rarely have mixed drinks anymore, but when I do, it's always with a Diet Coke.
Are you a fan of Diet Coke specifically, or do you like all other diet drinks? Oh, no, I know people who are really obsessed with Diet Coke specifically.
I'll do a Diet Pepsi. I'll do a Diet
Sure.
Dr. Pepper.
Sure.
I don't drink a lot. I just don't. I don't buy it anymore, so I don't have it at the house. So I rarely, unless I'm out like eating lunch, I never have it. But if I have a mixed drink, it's going to be with
Always
that.
Diet. Sure.
Yeah.
Second question is, what is your spirit animal?
Oh, I guess I've heard. I don't. You know what? I'd say probably otter.
Okay, Otter.
Nice.
They look like they're just having a fucking good time.
Yeah.
Do you hold hands when you're in the bath, or
With another otter, or with an actual otter.
with an actual
It's,
otter?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So your 4-year-old you were talking about before is an actual otter.
Yeah, well, I don't bathe with them. No. Bath time is me time,
Yeah.
which I guess 25 years I haven't had a bath in a long time. I went with standing up kind of early on. Figured this is for me.
Why,
I don't like lying down and being wet.
why an otter?
They look like they're having fun.
Just because they're having fun?
They're
They're just
they're
happy
chill.
and they can move.
Yeah, they get to swim. They just swim around and eat seafood all the time, and
Perfect life.
no responsibilities. I assume they're not like beavers. They don't have to build shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no responsibilities at all. Yeah, they just they can sleep and roll things around with in their tummies.
Sure.
Yeah.
Although apparently they're like extremely vicious too. Like it's one of those like nature things where they look all cute and shit, but then when you learn about them, they're like oh god, they like do they'll
You
they,
stay
rape
away from them.
animals and stuff. Like there's weird shit that happens in the animal kingdom.
So you're saying don't piss you off?
Yeah, no, that's
No, I'm not saying no. I'm not connecting that aspect of it to me. I'm just based on what I see when I see otters, which is just them having like it just looks like a nice life.
Okay.
I like it.
Third question is supposed to be unique to you and unique to your entire career. You should hopefully never hear this again, especially in an interview. I hope. What was your least favorite cartoon growing up?
Wow. Okay. Least favorite. To give me a second to think about that. You know what? Heathcliff.
Heathcliff. Okay.
Good answer.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
Yeah, because like
Longo running around.
yeah, it just I which I only vaguely remember Heathcliff, but I just remember thinking this guy just seems like a fucking dirtbag. Doesn't he live in a junkyard or something?
He hung out in a junkyard for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know, maybe it was just sort of classist or something of me. It's just like this just seems like a scummy cat.
Hatred of Heathcliff's problematic.
Not as
Oh
big.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure it'd be called a task.
I gotta
by
say,
someone for that.
full embargo on the word problematic again because
Love it. I know someone who uses that unironically with no sense of self-awareness.
really,
She's very nice and everything,
Well, no,
but like
sure,
very social justice warrior-y. And she will, that's a problematic word. I'm like, wow, I thought we jumped the shark on that and no one takes that seriously anymore. And you're just straight out
So
using
that's
it.
a thing.
so you're being honest.
It's like someone saying "Don't go there" anymore. It's like, oh man,
you
you didn't hear? We're done with that now.
Yeah, I don't think we've said that since
Yeah,
1997.
my mom said that, and I'm like, oh well, it's over.
Talk to the hand. That's racist. No. Well, you answered all those questions correctly.
Thank you.
Good
Yeah,
job.
I had to really scramble there to think about like what cartoon I had, because I do have I have a 4-year-old now, and he has an iPad like all of them, and there's also Netflix. So I'm being they see all the old cartoons, just like when we were kids, we were watching Bugs Bunny and stuff.
Yeah,
So that was from the 40s and 50s. So he sees so I'm like, see, oh God, I remember watching that when I was a kid, like some of the stuff he's seeing. So I have been sort of reintroduced to a lot of the old ones. I haven't seen Heathcliff on there, but I won't let him watch it.
You got to take a stand.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to.
Not at my house.
Sorry to I didn't mean to dig up something from your childhood that you absolutely hated so much. But like, Heathcliff. I mean, and Heathcliff actually, as a kid, helped me remember that I also didn't like Garfield the whole time.
Yeah,
Like,
Garfield's just boring, but it doesn't.
but he wasn't a scumbag. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like there's nothing offensive about it. You're not like, ew, that cat.
Yeah. Oh, he hates Mondays. That's fine.
Yeah, it's just doesn't do it. Garfield doesn't do anything for me, that's for sure. But
What are you introducing to your kids? What was the most important thing to introduce your kids when it comes to cartoons?
at this point, I just kind of let him.
Let him navigate.
I haven't really forced anything, but like he's got into Spider-Man. One of the things that he has on his iPad and is on Netflix is the Saturday morning cartoon one from when I was a kid called Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Those are the best.
And it was Spider-Man, and it was Iceman
Yeah. Yep.
and Firestar.
Yep.
And I was thinking about this today. Firestar, the most blazing fucking hot like female in any like media ever. There was two, and I remember these were my first two crushes when I was a kid. Was Firestar and remember Thundar the Barbarian? Mm-hmm. Princess Ariel, just like insanely
Barely
hot.
no clothes, basically.
Well,
Yeah.
tight clothes. Just, I mean, she had a Firestar had a spandex suit on, but it was tight. It was almost like to point out, going back, this is inappropriate.
Sure.
Like these are clearly these cartoonists like sexual fantasies.
Well,
But
yeah.
I remember as a kid, like, fuck, these women are hot, and not even knowing what that meant.
Yeah.
It's like, but I was just like, these fucking women. Holy crap. Makes me sound gross, but like even as a young kid, you key into like, ooh, wow, she's pretty.
I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll push those two on him so he gets,
A proper education.
yeah, he gets the proper
He's
sort
a
of,
Firestar.
so he realizes that he's supposed to hold women to this insanely high body standard that cannot be matched by an actual living human being. It's very important
which
for
is
my
actually-
male son to understand.
Mutant power is hotness.
Would you say mutant power?
Her mutant power, yeah. Being hot.
Is
being
hotness.
Fire, well, Firestar, yeah.
Right, no. It works on several
Who
levels.
I think was like as far as like the Marvel canon, she only existed in that cartoon.
Yeah, I mean,
I actually
there's
looked her
other-
up on Facebook. See if she was,
Right.
she's dating
Yeah,
anyone.
sure. It's
But-
stalking if you do it to a real girl, though. In the comments,
I
that's
know.
fine.
It's just like, I can Wikipedia someone, fictional character. It's not weird. But yeah, she's all because I was like, is she? Because I was like, and now like. And I was older, like now, I never read comic books or anything. My knowledge of superheroes was only from these cartoons I watched. So then, like, I like all the X-Men movies and stuff. And then I was like, was she, like, Iceman, he was someone, yeah, he was an X-Men. Was she an X-Men? Who was she? And then I looked at it, she's only existed in that cartoon.
They need the boobs so bad.
Yeah,
for,
they're just
for
like,
8-year-olds.
he's some fucking redheaded busty. Jesus Christ. Sound like a perv, I know, but it's all right.
But that sounds like dad goggles talking though. Like
Like what?
before the kid, you probably be like, no, she's hot. Like whatever, you know. But
No, this was after. I haven't thought about this stuff for years until he started like watching cartoons again, and then I was like, remember. It's weird when you have a kid because like you start remembering your own childhood a little better, and then like the cartoons and stuff you watched.
like a lot of oh shit, yeah, that's exactly what I would do right there. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, and he's getting to the age now where like he's 4, so like I remember 4. So he's at the like for a year, you know, like you realize like he doesn't remember anything. Like he's 2, I'm like he's not gonna remember this. But now he's like at an age where I remember being that age. So then it's a little more. He's sort of like having your sense of your own timeline of your life becomes a little more. It's interesting. Do you guys have any of you guys have kids?
Nope.
Well, that's
Not
what
proven.
happens.
I believe you. I believe you. Yeah.
The tests keep coming back negative.
I gotta move. This is actually my last show, guys.
I found one on Facebook. Her name is Firestar.
Don't you talk about my little girl.
She's a saint.
After all
And
she's
somehow,
done.
and then as always, she got hotter. Like when she would turn into Firestar. I forget what her name
Sure.
was, or Peter Parker name. But I mean, she was pretty then, and then she turned into Firestar. It was just like her boobs were bigger, and her fucking she had more, like her hair was like redder, and there was more of it. And it was, yeah,
All right.
probably very unhealthy messages to be sending to children in a lot of ways.
Yeah, at that point for sure. Well, like, again, because she only existed for that cartoon, most likely, or definitely.
Or it's a really good pro ginger message.
I think so.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
She was actually brave, right? You know, cutting edge.
Yeah.
When you think about it, anti-problematic.
The first soulless Marvel character.
It's like, well, it worked for Mary Lou Henner. You know, we got one hot woman, redhead.
Wow.
But
That's got to go in the show notes. Mary
There-
Lou Henner reference.
First time.
there is oh, good. I was gonna go with either her or Jill St. John. I didn't know which one to. What?
That one's been that's a
That's-
tangent.
yeah, But there are weird, like, so I mean, but the cartoons on like Nick and all of that programming for young kids is a little distasteful to me because it is like very sort of like pre-sexualizing messaging for their. So for example, so there was an Alvin and the Chipmunks cartoon when I was a kid.
Yeah, of course.
Saturday morning.
Yeah. You fucking nerd.
What?
You fucking nerd.
He wasn't here for that.
No,
So.
that was his tweet.
Oh.
Though you were at the Alvin and Chipmunks Live.
Oh
the guy-
yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, for a minute I thought things were going to turn south.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hey man, I just watched what was on. You can judge me. But I was plugged in. But so there's a new cartoon now, and of course it's computer CGI. And it's this weird thing where like, because there were movies, okay, so there was a CGI, like movies with David Cross and stuff that came out. And unfortunately, I'm unfamiliar with all these things.
There was a squeakle.
That's right. Number 2 was the Squeakle.
The third one comes out the same day as Star Wars.
The
comes
third
out.
one is called Chipwrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were
Fourth one. Sorry.
live action.
We're going to talk after the show.
Those were live action movies, but then like with little chip with its computer CGI, and they look sort of like the classic cartoons. Now there's just a full cartoon one on one of the kids' networks, and it's all computer animation, but the chipmunks look different. They look more anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They look more humanized, which is odd. And then I was like, why do they look like this? And I realized that it's because there's like the 3 chipettes, and they're there's like the female, and they're all, so it's like it's not 3 main, it's 6 main characters. So it's like the 3 dudes, the 3 girls.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
like
the girl band.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
And
the rogue
it's
Chris
character
is
for that.
just, yeah, he's just.
they
blank.
realized it was harder. My theory was they realized it was harder to make those like girl chipmunks look sort of like sexualized in that tweeny way with like a lot of makeup and like cute clothes. If they looked full rodent, they had to make them look more human so they could put all that shit on them and make, have a like sex appeal to them. They couldn't just be like cutesy little rodents dancing around. That's my theory because it's very. You can tell, like, all right, someone said these need to look more human. I think that's why, because everything's like.
That's fair.
Like, it's like everyone's a little hip hop dancer in every fucking cartoon now, and it's just kind of like.
The Miley Cyrusation.
Yeah,
of cartoons.
exactly. Yeah, no, I mean that's what Disney and Nick does.
Yeah.
They have to do this sort of like pre-sexualizing thing for kids. So then once they're full-blown teens, they're like they have their advertising hooks on them, and like everything's sexy and everything's about being sexy and looking good and everything like that.
Marketable,
so they have to like
Yeah.
start doing that earlier on with the fucking Alvin and the Chipmunk. If you look at a lot of these things from a pretty cynical viewpoint, obviously.
For sure.
No, I appreciate your viewpoint.
Yeah.
I dated a girl who had a little girl.
Yeah.
And I'll be forced to watch Nickelodeon all day long. And I completely agree with you. Like the amount of just brazen advertising and marketing toward you need to look pretty because pretty toy makes you pretty.
Yes,
it's really
absolutely.
really sick. Yeah.
I'm in this regard. I'm lucky. I have a son, and I don't have to like his peers who all the parents at his school. We all hang out and stuff like that. And the ones with girls, they're definitely
I think your theory is
early
sound.
socialized in order to like you're not just a girl, a child. You're like a little woman. It's kind of nasty.
Gotta sell a thing.
Yeah.
That's why it's funny too. I don't know why I know a lot about the good kids cartoons. Well, I guess one of the friends of the show, we call him Banjo. He has a great little daughter, and he introduced his daughter to Adventure Time. And Adventure Time definitely doesn't do any of that.
Yeah.
But it's also very weird.
Yeah.
To a point where most likely in the canon of the show, that part of the universe they're in might be post-apocalyptic Earth. Like, it most definitely is. Like,
I have not seen it. I know everyone loves it. But,
it's great for little kids. It's great for kids because there's
Okay.
just so much to see and so much to do. And then for the adults, you're like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And nothing that would scar, nothing that Scientology couldn't fix eventually,
That's pretty broad. I mean, we can fix most things.
There's another show called Something Else I'll Look Up, which is a longer title. Yeah, I love that show. It's a Disney show. Alvin and the Chipmunks. Well, I mean, they already David Cross. I feel bad for David Cross, but he also said
He
specifically
didn't. He cashed that
he
check.
said I needed a check. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit! I got nothing. Yeah. Why? He's a
Murray
great.
did
He's a
Garfield.
great character actor.
Well, Bill Murray did Garfield only specifically because he didn't know who was directing it. So he said yes. His words was he said yes, thinking it was going to be a very like not a P.T. Barnum, P.T.
The Coen brothers.
He thought it was going to be an actual Coen brother, and not the director like had the last name Coen. And he's
But it
like,
was spelled differently. It's a different Coen, yeah.
So over the phone, he's like, "Yeah, I'll do that. That sounds hilarious." And then
I love how he thinks there's only one director named Cohen in Hollywood.
well, two, I guess, brothers.
two, yeah. There's only one family of Cohens.
right. They're all Baldwins or Coens.
That's right.
We need to take a quick break because I need to go to the bathroom. And we'll be back with more Joecast.
Yeah.
All right.
That part was flammable. It's a safety issue, dude.
Sewing my name on the quilt grate. Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break. Like, damn, what a vibe. Woo!
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody.
Yeah.
Segment 3, the Fighting 3.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we're already there.
Yeah, we are.
So two parts of the segment. I didn't get really a chance to talk to you, Mike, about where you came from. I saw that you're from St. Louis originally.
Yes, I am.
I saw you bounce at least from St. Louis to Houston, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Why did you come to Austin?
It was a combination of mainly being comedy reasons. If you're not going to move to New York or LA, and if you're going to live in this region, Austin just became a better place than Houston to live.
Sure. Is the comedy scene in Houston not that good? Or, well, not to disparage
I haven't been there in a
anybody,
while. The kind of opportunity, like the industry just started focusing. Eventually, just sort of forgot about Houston. Just started focusing exclusively on Austin.
Okay.
So you just sort of have to be there.
Interesting.
And there was just a
I
lot.
didn't know
There's a lot more sort of. There's a lot of production that goes on here.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of voiceovers, so.
You called yourself the telephone comedian. Is that right?
On Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh, America's premier phone comedian.
Phone comedian. Yeah.
I do a lot of stuff literally over the call-ins to places like Stern and then podcasts that I contribute to.
Yeah.
And it's done over my landline, so I just sort of waggishly put. I do other things.
Well,
phone stuff.
your original the original videos you could see of you on Letterman originally doing Stern was you're more predominantly an impressionist with a stand-up routine.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I'm used for a lot is impressions. Yeah.
Did you not to when Mitt Romney became a thing? Did you notice? Were you excited because you have a really nice voice in general, but it's it doesn't seem like it's that far of a stretch to just tweak it to sound like Mitt Romney already?
Well, yeah, I mean, and when he was running for president, I got a lot of attention because, as far as people who impersonated him, I was the one. I mean, I rarely say this, but I actually sound the most like him.
Yeah.
The impression sounded the most
of
like him.
all the people who do it too. Yeah.
So when it came down to pure audio, I kind of became discovered as the guy doing that. So Stern had me. I did sketches on audio stuff for Kimmel.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So, and then he fucking lost, and I was like, well, shit.
Out of a job.
God damn it.
Curses.
Well, you had a lot of voices too, from your reel. It's Harrison Ford, Romney, Sean Connery, Rip Torn. Rip Torn's excellent.
Thanks, sweetie. I appreciate it.
It's so good.
It's a drunk cast, isn't it? Makes sense to work in there.
Same thing with Ian McKellen and Mel Gibson. Peter O'Toole, of course, in the same that reality series with all of them together. Was that all on Frank TV? Was that where the clips were coming from? The Rip Torn up on stage trying to proposition himself as an auction.
Oh, that was from Frank. Yeah, that particular reel was all from Frank TV.
Okay. Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly's excellent. Russell Crowe is great. Rachel Dawkins and Gregory Peck. And that's all.
Wow, some of those don't even do anymore.
Herman McCain was really good too. Herman McCain. There's no way he was going to last that long anyway. So I'm sure you're put that in the box.
We had fun with that. I do one of the main things I do is the Jimmy Dore Show, which is a podcast, also a syndicated radio show.
Yeah.
And I do all the call-ins as political figures or whatever. And we that was our favorite one to do, Herman Cain.
Yeah.
Because we just kind of turned him into his own kind of character that eventually by that had very little to do with what he actually said or not. He's just trying to get laid or it's just sort of this lech. And then, but then it's sad because eventually those people sort of fade out of importance or they're not in the forefront anymore, and you just have to kind of let it go. It doesn't really make sense to do a whole lot of Herman Cain every week. I'm like, all right, we'll find someone else.
I mean, it's a great opportunity to bring him back into the household. I miss Herman Cain.
I was hoping he'd run again. I was hoping Mitt Romney would run again.
Yeah.
But no such luck.
So no Trump impersonations, no.
No, because that's something that's it's already been done. I like to do it when I'm especially on stage or wherever. I like to do impressions that the people in the audience can't do. You know what I mean, or don't feel like they could do. Because that one's just already been. Before he was running for president, he was just a kind of oft impersonated
for a while.
Yeah, and it's just what am I going to add to it?
It's like the Heathcliff of the political pundits, I guess.
Was he that much of a scumbag?
Oh, worse than Heathclif.
He's Trump. Yeah.
But now on the show, we're doing, Ted Cruz a little bit, but Jeb Bush is one that I'm kind of doing every week. It's sort of fun to zero in on ones that don't have obvious, that aren't going to be easy to do.
Yeah.
And try to find angles where that is what.
Not so much caricature, but actually trying to do an impression.
Yeah. So that's a fun one that we're doing.
Well, the phone comedian tip, we do have a phone number, 412-440-7468. It's 412-440-SHOT, where if you're ever just in the mood and just want to leave a thing.
Okay.
That's easy. And you can put it in your phone as, booty call or whatever. And that's also to anyone who's listening. You can text it also as well.
All right.
Although impressions probably don't work very well on text. You could do Obama pretty easily with a lot of ellipses. But
trailing off.
I would say though, out of everything that you've done, the Harrison Ford was probably my favorite, especially the Frank TV bit of like having a conversation like, well, that Harrison Ford was it wasn't really feeling this one thing about having to open this one door, and he's like, well, what if they just left a key? He's like, well, it's an Aztec temple. And he's like, all right, well, anything else, but like you just nail it. And Harrison Ford seems like a pretty difficult character to try to nail. Like,
yeah, he's a very. He doesn't give a shit basically anymore. It's the angle that he's old, and I'm surprised he's even doing this new Star Wars, quite frankly. But you know, these earrings aren't cheap. And these are diamonds, and you know, sometimes I get bored too.
So yeah, just the most low key,
yeah,
you know, guy imaginable.
And then he just bursts out in anger all of a sudden.
Yeah, and then there are the other two modes.
my son is, yeah.
It's like it's either completely this, or he's absolutely furious.
You know, so it's one or the other. There's no middle ground. So it's just like two nodes for him.
And it's important to point out you did the finger too, because that's signature Ford move.
Right,
There's
exactly.
always a finger pointing.
Yeah.
And it's got to be shaking a little bit. I didn't kill my wife. How dare you, sir? Get off my plane.
Just like a supercut of every 90s movie moment where he's pissed off. It's all got the finger.
Yep.
I noticed that when you did the impression, both impressions really, like it didn't seem like you like what's your click? What's the key to get into the impression? Like I know from some people who try to do impressions, they say like for me, if I try to do an Obama, it's like it has to start with the and then it makes sense. But
Well,
like,
it's sort of, for me, it's just sort of like I don't really study and try to repeat people. It's just if I hear things enough, it kind of just sort of seeps in to my brain, and it'll just sort of come out.
slides out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then once you do it, you're sort of like, well, okay, what? Like it's this weird process for me. It's like, all right, what am I doing okay, this sounds like him. What am I doing subconsciously that is making it sound like that person? And then you sort of examine it, and then you pick up on these little things. Like if they say a certain vowel a certain way, then whatever you're saying, make sure you say that vowel a lot.
Yeah.
Choose your word choice has a lot to do with it. So whatever you're saying, you're choosing things that like for that person's little markers when they talk. Like when you're choosing the copy of the bit or whatever, you're making him say a bunch of things that will bring those markers out. Right. So you like emphasize, if you're doing Obama, obviously, there's a lot of this.
So many pregnant pauses. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
But Rip Torn, though, I like because I saw the
So random too.
Your
Rip Torn impersonation.
Your Rip Torn impersonation on Frank TV specifically was like there's almost like you have to ask the gods to give you a stroke on one side of your face.
It's a very lopsided way of talking.
Yeah.
A lot of times you have to contort yourself in order to sound like the person.
And it's natural because it's like that's exactly what he does. Wait, he's even doing an impression of himself. Like,
well, I may have actually had a stroke or two over the years. But I'm still at it, baby. Still on a drug cast. Still got it. What is this? Is this radio? Why are we outside?
It's internet TV, sir. Sorry.
For fuck's sake. I'm going to do you a favor and pretend I didn't hear that.
I mean, are you like watching a movie and you're like, oh, I could do that guy? Like, how does it start? Do you do someone, or you?
It's usually it's like usually that's something I'm even thinking about like while I'm watching it, but then as time goes by, like if I become familiar with a person, or like whether it's someone on the news or in a movie, then I'll just slowly get the subconscious realization, like, oh, I think I could do that, and especially with my voice. I mean, I kind of specialize in men with low voices.
Sure. Like if tones.
And if you don't, sometimes people do impressions and they're trying to do. There's nothing faker sounding than trying to make your voice sound lower than it actually is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Or higher, because I can't really do that very well. So, like, a lot of the ones I can do are just sort of outside of the natural speaking range of a lot of men, or guys trying to do impressions. So I kind of nail those a little better and that's the thing with Mitt Romney, like he was always sort of like put forth as like dorky white guy. I'm like,
That's not what
he
we
has
talk.
a very, very low, gravelly voice. He's actually kind of like a sort of manly kind of. He's got broad shoulders. Like he's like if you just saw him, you wouldn't be like, oh, he's a dorky. But
Well, he
the
killed
white and Barry White.
He killed dogs by putting them on top of his car. So yeah, the
So-
man is not a pansy by any means.
All right, no killing of dogs.
no,
that we know of.
that dog, he ended up perfectly fine, by the way. There was nothing wrong with that dog. We personally thought he had a very fun ride up there, and he had a good time. We had a great time. I don't see what the problem is, personally.
Real sad that Wally World was closed when we got there, but yeah.
Well, that's just gonna happen. But like he has a very low, gravelly voice, so when they needed someone to actually sound like he sounded, and that's kind of where I sort of like, boop, like popped through a little bit.
Like I could do it.
Yeah. And it was great because like people found me because I did it on the Jimmy Dore show all the time.
Right.
And then those clips are online, and then people were like searching, and then people ended up finding me through the internet, which was, great, and I started getting used for stuff. So admit if you're listening, if you want to run again, it's not too late. It's almost a full year you have to jump in. If you really want to make my career take off again, I'd just be fantastic if you ran.
Do you think will you take write-ins, Mr. Romney?
Oh, right. Well, I'll write in Romney. Yeah, I'd appreciate it. That'd be very nice.
Well, so you're doing impressions on Jimmy Dore show. Jimmy Dore, yeah. But when Chris
Dore, if
Dore.
anyone wants to check it out.
Chris
No, I'm spelling it Dore.
Dore.
Dore. Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy Dore, D-O-R-E.
Spelled Dore.
Yeah, I'll put some posts up on for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
But when Chris saw you, he said there wasn't a lot of impressions. Like you're
Sometimes if I'm doing short sets, like,
easier not to.
well, it depends on. I mean, I got a lot of material that doesn't involve voices at all. So,
Yeah.
if I'm doing a short set, it might just be. There'll always be some in there, but it's great. Like, yeah, which is cool because I have all these outlets to do voices, and I get used for that.
Right.
So my stand-up, if I don't feel like doing them or doing stuff that doesn't, I don't have to because I have an outlet for like the Jimmy Dore show, all these political ones. Like,
Right.
I don't have an actual stand-up bit that uses Jeb Bush at all in it, but I mean I might, but
He could use the press, really. so.
I do it all the time on Jimmy Dore.
That's funny too because I can't even remember what Jeb Bush sounds like. But once he stops talking, I'm like, it's almost
Silence.
it's like when a flautist stops playing, you're like, there's something missing, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. Well, I realized from
White noise.
the marker in my head was like he's a combination of my high school theater teacher, who I know you don't know, sounds like, and Charles Grodin. Like, so.
Okay.
So he's in that family of Bush. It sounds like him, but really he's a different guy, and he's trying to make his own sort of way for himself. But Dad guy, he's having a hard time doing it because of the last name. I want to use it. Remind people like, hey. Part of a dynasty over here, you guys. But at the same time, I'm my own man, and it's it's a really hard road to hoe. But I'm rich, and I'll be fine no matter what.
So excellent. Very. I mean, precision too. Like hearing impressionists and like looking it up and saying like, oh god, I hope it's not like a ventriloquist with impressions. Like no, but yeah, you're actually really fucking good at it. So
Thank you.
let's take one more break. We'll come back and I want to ask you
Already?
about some tweets. Yeah, and then
Ask about yes.
and you might have to do a shot with us.
Okay.
Pull your leg. We'll be back.
The name of the podcast is what it is. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break like
well, yeah, it has to.
nights new. What a feeling, what a nice mood. A bam, boom, rock. We're here to rock you. It's like damn, what a vibe.
3. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Segment 4. What is the segment 4?
The Fantastic Four?
No, not after the movie.
The Final Four?
The Final Four. The Final Four tier.
Okay.
Mike, if you're going to name a 4th segment, what would you call it?
Oh, hold on. I'm still screwing with these goddamn things.
Sorry. Or give it the theme of the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a Fantastic Four.
Quad.
Oh yeah, you don't have to be for it. Quadrophenia.
Quadrophenia. There you go. Okay. This is the Quadrophenia.
That's
segment.
a Who reference for you, Trevor.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who else?
I didn't know you.
Well, exterminate. Usually in the third segment, we like to talk, especially when we're talking to comedians who are on Twitter, like to ask them to explain your tweets.
What a nightmare. Being held accountable for just like
For things
any
you
like
throw-
stupid
yeah.
thought that like just Tourette'sy throw out into the universe. To explain this, I can't.
Tourette's-ish. No, that should be pretty easy, you know. First and foremost, let's see, this is October 30th, so it's thematic.
Oh, deep cuts.
You know what? It's actually not spooktacular, not in the least. You remember where you were when you wrote that?
I think at home.
Okay.
A lot of things are called spooktacular
Yeah,
around
that's true.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Maybe getting a new car or something.
And I
Things
just,
like that.
Spooktacular savings. Yeah.
Spooktacular.
Spectacular season here
Yeah.
at Hyundai. Yeah. Okay.
I got nothing.
In
I'm sorry, I got
Trucktober.
nothing else. I have no more explanation for that
All right.
than what I put forth.
November 16th. Are you making this harder than it needs to be? Answer: usually, yes.
Yeah, because I do that all the time.
Okay, so this is a question to you. You asked yourself the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, in a way, but they all kind of. I mean, I guess I could be seeing. I think a lot of other people do that too.
Yeah.
And it's just all about finding fucking deep reasons for these fucking things. I want us to all look into ourselves and see if we're doing that.
Do you have a Deepak Chopra impression? That would be great
Oh
right
God, no!
Find your inner Romney.
Fucking
Yeah.
Just let
Swami.
it out.
Well, when I was doing the research, I was also working in a place where I work in a corporate environment as an IT person, and so it hit home for me. 'Cause
Oh,
I thought
yeah?
maybe you were asking like, 'cause
See,
I don't know what you
it's
hate.
like song lyrics. You can find the meaning in my tweets that you want to find.
Yeah, it's like talking to Beck here. Yeah.
Tweet artist.
Tweet
Yoko
artist.
Ono. Over
Yeah, I
That's-
mean,
no, never.
I don't want to ruin these tweets by trying to give some ultimate reasoning behind them.
After he
What
hits
they mean to
tweet
you is what they mean.
Well, and once in a while, like, and I'm thinking maybe this one is the uglier someone is, the more huffy and exasperated they are about the morons that they have to work with.
Yeah,
And the last one was
it's just
kind
an
of-
observation.
Well, I didn't know if like if
I
you
bet.
were at a spot where you like notice a thing, it's like, you know, this reminds me very much of how morons deal with exasperated people. Or,
A lot of this is react. I mean, like social media is like an echo chamber.
yeah, for sure.
So I'll see a lot of stuff in a row on Facebook, and clearly something's going on, and I'll like tweet about it, like subtweet about it without actually really addressing it.
Yeah.
But the idea is for it to just sort of like resonate. You know, people I think some people will kind of know what I'm talking about. Or
Like the Ben Carson one, there was that one was pretty self-explanatory, but it was pretty funny. How much fucking grain does Ben Carson think the Egyptians had?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Why would you need them? Yeah.
Unless you knew what the news stories were that everyone was talking about,
Right.
where he thought that the pyramids were for
Or
grain.
specifically only for grain.
Yeah.
Because we've never been inside the pyramid, so it's obviously must be
Thank you.
completely hollow.
We have
inside.
found so much grain when we've unearthed those tombs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or unless grain turns into gold over the years.
It curses.
Kind of like, coal turns to diamond.
Brendan Fraser movies.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Eventually they all come. That's the curse that the opening the tomb actually had.
It made Brendan Fraser movies, yeah.
Yeah, the reason for what I tweet about, I mean, some people have found like really, they really have a formula for their Twitter, and there's like Brian Garr is one of those guys. Like he just found like a formula early on and a method, and
Sure.
he got like a shit ton of followers from it. I have nothing. I've never had anything remotely like that. It's just like whatever dumb thoughts. Sometimes they're jokes. Sometimes they're just like, and sometimes it's me just being like, annoyed by social media and what people are chirping about on there at any given time.
I don't know if it's like
Which
triggered-
is why I barely have any followers.
well,
Drunk ass bump.
you get
Get ready, buddy.
Oh, hell yeah,
Turn
dude.
off your notifications because it's about to light up.
You get 3 4 emails, man.
Max.
You don't want that.
I can't wait.
Spam filter's gonna clog.
At this point, everything helps. The Wild West years of Twitter were like one great tweet could get you all the. That's done.
Oh yeah, invited to the Kanye dinner party or something. Like
Yeah, it's all over.
That's all it is now. Like Twitter has turned into what used to be like a party of a bunch of people saying things and people kind of listening. Is now people seeing the Kardashians and walking over to them and just saying just whispering, "This is a comment I have," and then hoping that they'll let you stay. Like, oh no, we're friends with. No, it doesn't work that way. It's not as easy. Social media.
Yeah,
sucks.
I love it. It simultaneously makes me furious, and I love it at the same time.
Oh yeah, sure.
And what you get in trouble for saying, everything's like you said, problematic. Like these fucking ear plugs. These are This is what I just want to go to those like college kids. This is what problematic means.
This is a real thing. It's affecting me as a white male.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this right now.
Check your non-earbud privilege.
My day we had muffs and we liked it.
Yeah. Giant cans.
So we come to this part of the show. We're going to have a toast.
Cool.
This is a toast about anything that you think of, Mike, since you're going to be giving the toast. It doesn't have to be a limerick or anything clever. It's just anything that you want to give up to the heavens as we take a shot together.
Having a very non-cynical day, so how about everyone have a great holiday?
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent. Hard to argue with that.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
tweet or idea I was going to do is still mine up. Something effective like, do I have to rescind my like cynical stand-up comic card if I really like Christmas? Because I really do. Like that just seems like something I'm not allowed to. That just doesn't go.
Like,
No, I know.
Keep the personality clean, I guess,
I think
right?
that actually becomes like a niche you can capitalize on.
The Christmas comic. All right, I'll just keep growing the beard out.
That's right, yeah. Hey, you ever notice when your eggnog has rum in it? Isn't that great?
Isn't it
dude.
great?
Am I right?
Aren't we great? Happy holidays, guys. All right, see you later.
I love that.
Hey,
That's
so
maybe
peace
where
on
I'm
earth.
going.
Right.
Goodwill toward men. You know this, right?
It could give you more street cred, right? No, I'm not angry about everything. It's just everything else sucks
Yeah.
except Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas is
No,
great.
it's a credibility marker.
The economy's shit. Fucking Syria's a mess. Syria. I combined Syria and Sharia law into one word.
And that becomes Siri.
America
Yeah.
will do that eventually for
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Syriana.
Syriana.
That's
Very prophetic movie.
different. You know.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. This is the time.
We done
for you-
already?
Yeah, we're going to wrap this thing up and try to keep it
You have
simple.
a show to go to.
Okay.
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
really
let's
stuff
do
to
it.
take care of very soon. This is time to plug where you are online in any form.
Well, MikeMacRae.com. Also, check me out on The Jimmy Dore Show, available on iTunes. We do a lot of fun stuff there. If I will have my own podcast out once I get my ass on it. It's called Legends of Rock with Mike MacRae. It's a bunch of fake interviews with me and classic rock star. It's sort of a send up on like Rockline, but it's
Oh,
just
I
me
love it.
doing all the voices.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I do a lot of like classic rock. It's very niche. It's not for everybody. But I do a lot of impressions of like classic rock people that there's no way to work them into my act. So I just put them all into this podcast, and it's just sort of.
Well, you never have to worry about a niche because eventually, like one of my favorite podcasts is literally two guys watching basketball, have no idea what basketball is, and narrating or announcing it.
Yeah.
Color commentating on something they have no idea. It's called Pistol Shrimps Radio.
Oh, really?
And it literally is. It's so niche, but it's popular. Like you do something with a lot of sincerity, and it'll work out. So
Yeah, I think there's an audience for this, and it's fun to do something like Robert Plant and Lemmy Kilmister and David Gilmour and all these people that I do. 75% of people that are listening probably have no idea who those people are, but for those who do, I do good impressions of them too.
You'll know.
Yeah.
where are you on Twitter?
Oh yeah, at Mike MacRae Mike. And I'm annoying on Facebook too, so be my friend there. And I'll be. Oh yeah, if you're in several cities, I forget which ones. I'll be opening for Patton Oswalt on tour
awesome.
in January.
Awesome.
And other dates, festivals go to my website. I'll be around.
Excellent.
Oswald January. All right.
That's all I got.
Cool.
Well, thank you again for coming. And
This is very fun, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Like, I'm not even joking. If you want to give us free material, you can call 412-440-7468.
Email me that number again. I'll get drunk and do that.
Yeah, please.
It is a drunk cast.
That's how we do it.
Lemmy would call.
Rip Torn calls it.
Rip Torrent's my favorite.
Age of Ultron was a piece of shit.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Finally, you and Rip Torrent agree on something. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I've admired you my whole life, Rip. And now,
You can dodge a wrench, you
Training.
can dodge this movie.
Well, Chris, do you have anything you want to plug aside from your OkCupid profile?
yeah, no. Now I want an OkCupid Pro. I have to go make one now. Like I got
Yeah,
an
you do.
errand out of this.
Sure.
No. Just happy to be here, guys. Thanks for coming.
Tinder, man.
Oh yeah, I got Tinder.
He's a Tinder man.
Tinder's
Tinderoni.
great.
Yeah.
Tinderoni.
I'm gonna start.
I've been
swiping right
dating
now.
someone
Excuse me.
for several months, but Tinder was great.
I mean, that sounded prophetic. Like that sounded like the beginning of a movie.
Yeah,
Well,
I want to know more about that the next time you're on the
Yeah.
show.
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, we can talk all about Tinder.
Hang on to that.
Anything from you, Dylan?
Nope.
All right, well, thank you so much. It's been excellent. If you want to know,
Attaboy, he knows when to shut the fuck up.
if you'd like to know more about the show, you want to find out what we're doing and how we're doing it, if you want to come to a show, etc., you can go to facebook.com/drunkcastlive, drunkcastlive.com. We're at drunkcastlive on Twitter. I think we're drunkcastlive pics on Instagram, whatever that is. We are on the iTunes store, and we're not on the Zune store. We will soon be on the Google Play store, apparently. Hey, got in that quick because reasons, but as all Google things, there's no way to tell when that comes out. And 412-440-7468 is 412-440-SHOT. You can leave a voicemail and we will play on the air, or you can text us. If you have musings, anything, we'll put it up. Of course, the text doesn't play very well when we play it out loud, but I can read it out loud. I can have the ability.
Interesting.
Any questions at Drunkcast Live, and now bookings at Drunkcast Live. If you're interested in being on the show,
That's a thing.
yeah. So, Mike, Chris, Dylan, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for having me.
We love you so much, and we'll see you next week.
We come to let you know what the deal is.
It's not Drunkcast's mission to find something problematic about Chris Evans.
I mean, anything can be. It's in your heart. You know?
mean,